I think these earphones lie to me, but they might be the best budget earphones I've ever used. This is CMF by Nothing Buds 2. Yeah, Nothing is an interesting company. I believe this is their budget line, CMF. First of all, let's have a look at the products and I'll get into what I think the lie was with these. But yeah, so the box, I have the product separately because of course I've been testing the product. Let's have a look at the box anyways, because I think the unboxing experience is always something to talk about in these videos, because I like a nice unboxing. So you don't open it from the top, you open it from the bottom. And on the side it says about hybrid, audio cancelling, 48 plus dB plus 5,000 hertz active noise cancellation, a powerful driver, superior sound quality, powered by DRAC or DIRAC. They have an extra long battery, they have clear voice technology enabled with HD microphones, and they have dual connectivity, which is quite cool. Nothing much on this side, load of warning stuff on there which we're not going to take a look at, but let's have a look inside. So anyways, when you open them up, your headphones sit here on top, and there is a nice little QR code on there for you to, scan so you can get the app, because you do really want the app with these headphones. If you do, I'm not sure if they actually work on Apple. I'll put it on screen if there's an Apple app. I tried these with the Samsung flip phone. I'll get into that in a bit. Inside, we have some tips, some SNL tips. I guess it's medium tips that are on there by default. They're just in there. And you also get all this safety information booklet, I presume. That barcode, that QR code just lets you, have a look at it online instead of reading the book. You'll notice that there was no cable charger in there. It does say no plug on the back, but I thought, no plug, that's standard. But no Type-C cable, which I think is a bit weird, because these are Type-C charger, which is great, love that. But yeah, no Type-C charging, which I think is a bit bizarre. So overall, the product design, it's not too bad. It's not as small and compact as like the AirPods container, but these are a fraction of the price of AirPods. And looking at everything outside, it's just this square box. It does say CMF by Nothing on the front. This thing here, I believe, is a lanyard holder or something. Put some string through there, put them on a lanyard. I personally just like playing with it because it spins around. I like that. On the bottom, we have a light. If we open that up slightly, you'll see that light comes on. There's a Type-C for charge on the side. Nothing else on here whatsoever. I quite like the clean design. So anyways, when you open them up, inside we have a bit of information at the top, which you won't really ever look at. We have what I presume is a pairing button should you need it to pair to another device. We have the Buds 2 branding, and this is the Buds in the case. Very simple design. They're all kind of looking like this these days. And there is two little points there on the stem that meet up in the case for charging. The magnetic. They stay in this case as well. They got a good grip in there. You're not going to open this case and accidentally drop them on the floor. You have to open it with some might to even get one to drop out. They're nice build quality. They're not that amazing. They are plastic, of course, on the sides. And on the sides of these buds is some buttons, and you can do some tap, some holes to trigger some commands, and you can set them up for each ear. They're pretty comfortable. The first couple of times I tried them, it did hurt my ear a bit. I feel like this is just a bit too big in my opinion, but I've worn them a few times because I wanted to test them out in the wild, try the features and see if they're any good. So let's get on to why I think they lied anyways. So as a company, Nothing is something I haven't had any experience of. This is my first Nothing product. I've never had a Nothing phone. I admire their designs. They look nice. I admire their product line, and I definitely like the price of these. As we can see here on Amazon, currently is a Black Friday sale. It's £24. I'd imagine they'll probably stay around that price most of the time, even if it go by the retail of $35.66, which is weird. These are still good value for money. They come in a variety of colours. So they come in a dark grey, they also come in an orange, and they also come in a light grey, and of course we have the light green here. These are the ones we picked. So anyways, when you're on Amazon's thing and you're scrolling through the images, some nice images there. There's one thing on this image here that really interests me, because a lot of these buds, Bluetooth buds, a lot of these Bluetooth buds now, they're pretty good. We've kind of surpassed the cheap, terrible audio thing that was a problem years ago, and now we have adequate buds. These surpass, don't get me wrong, these are good, but I saw this feature here, ChatGPT integration. I thought, that sounds interesting. How does that work? Because obviously ChatGPT, that's people into AI these days, and I thought I wouldn't mind some ChatGPT enabled headphones. I don't mind playing around with it at times. Well, it turns out this only works with Nothing phones, and I checked ChatGPT. I said, how do I use ChatGPT with the CMF buds? So it basically said, here's how you you can or can't use ChatGPT with them. And basically, you need to have a Nothing phone to use this feature, and I think that's a bit of an oversight, especially when it's here on the picture and it says ChatGPT integration, and I can't see a disclaimer in here unless I'm wrong. I've clicked through all of this stuff, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, I'll totally, eat that one if I'm wrong. I can't personally see anything on here. I thought if they would, fair enough, if it's a Nothing phone only feature, I get that, but can you not just put a little disclaimer or something, just say, this product doesn't work with Nothing phone. Yeah, so I feel a little bit cheated with that, because I bought these for this, and I thought that was going to be a cool video, but yeah, that's my annoying little gripe with Nothing and these headphones is, what's that about? Another thing I want to mention is a couple of the features here as well. They're supposed to be IP55 rated for water and dust, which I think is good, because I feel like these type of things, you want to use them outside, you might walk around, it might rain, you might get wet, and they'll be good with that. But let's go through the app and have a look at the features. I also want to mention the battery life. The battery life quoted is 55 hours, 7.5 hours of playback with a 10-minute charge. I tend to think that's right. These do seem to have really good battery life, which I'm happy about. Yeah, we'll get into the thing. I haven't really played with the microphones too much. I never really like talking with headphones in. With microphones, I like to hear myself. If I can't hear myself, I feel like I'm either whispering or shouting. I don't like it. So the app you need is Nothing X. I'll just open these up. So as you can see here, this is our app. When we open them, I have to open the case to have them see there. As you can see, there's both buds, and we have a few different features which I'm going to talk about. So noise cancellation, these are pretty good. I don't know if I take noise cancellation too literal when people are talking about it, but it's pretty good. If you have it on and you're just walking around, you will still hear bits of wind. If you know what I mean with that wind against headphones, that bit of whistle, you'll still get a bit of that. But there doesn't seem to be any the white noise hum. I had some Beats Studios a while ago, and they just made this weird white noise hum. Didn't hear that. Still hear a bit of car engines and stuff like that with them in. It's not complete noise cancellation. Transparency though on this works perfectly. I paused my music. I was in a shop buying some stuff, and I paused the music. Turn transparency mode on. Worked brilliantly. Spatial audio. I'm going to recommend if you get these, have spatial audio on over off. I think it's just a nicer experience with it on. It does feel a bit more full on a soundstage. Not amazing, but there is a slight improvement that even I noticed. I'm not an audiophile by any means, so equalizers and things I just leave on. I left my equalizer on this one here that they recommended on the box. It's just automatically on. It seems to work pretty well. I can't argue with it. I left the ultra bass on 1. That was enough bass for me. I don't want to, when I'm listening to music, I don't want to exaggerate the music from what it was intended to be. So I just left this on 1. It sounded fine to me. There was plenty of bass at 1 for me. These are the controls. I just left them on the default. You can play around with them, so you can select the left one like I mentioned. It is these little buttons here. And there is a variety of different things. The voice assistant, before anyone says anything, it's just Bixby. Plus, I'm on the Samsung phone. And yeah, there's a few different things. These work once you've figured out where the button is in your ear, once you get used to it, that works perfectly. There's a few different functions. I'm not really a big fan of using these, mainly just for a play pause thing. I think is best. And you can set the left and you set the right one as a different set. Honestly, I don't know if anyone actually uses all of these, but it's good to have. A feature is nice to have. One of the next things is low lag mode. I don't really know what that is. So these also have dual connection, so you can connect these to 2 different devices, which I think is cool. You could have your phone on your laptop. That's one of the things I really like about AirPods, is that if you have an Apple ecosystem, you can just connect them to everything and it works amazingly. I did update these when they got them. Overall, I think for value for money, these are honestly some of the best earbuds in the price range. I think these are proper daily driver earphones. If you damage them, you won't be too upset if they got, you had to buy a new pair. Obviously you don't want to, but yeah, I think other than that one thing that really annoys me that I bought the headphones for, these are actually really good headphones. They offer a few higher end features, and like I say, spatial audio seems decent. The noise cancelling and having the transparency mode on makes these headphones a bit of a dream to me. I do like that. That's something I will be using with these in the future. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. If you used any of these CMF buds, what do you think of them having a bit of a misleading Amazon advert where they say that there's a feature there that not everyone can use? But let me know in the comments below, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.